Welcome to the New Creators Podcast, Episode 2. I'm Micah.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Ethan.
And we are super glad to be back with y'all. The first episode to the New Creators had a really overwhelmingly positive reception. We got a lot of great feedback. Came away with over 75 listeners on the first episode within like 4 days, which I think is really great.
Yeah, that is nuts.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. The first episode and the fact that we did very minimal advertising, I'm really glad with where we are. So yeah, I'm really excited about what the future has for new creators.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
We've also had a few upgrades over the last episode. I've got a new microphone. Hopefully I sound a bit better. And Ethan's also got a pair of headphones on this time. So we didn't have a weird echo this time.
Yes, we're learning as we go.
Yes.
Yeah. But we also have potential for some guests in the future, which we got a lot of requests for. Hey, like, can I be a guest? Well, the answer is maybe. So we have a Google form. If you go to bit.ly/tncguest, there will be a form that you can fill out with your Discord tag and your what you want to talk about and your time zone. And if everything works out and we think you'd be a great addition to the podcast, then we will definitely consider you, and you could be a guest on the New Creators.
Ooh, exciting!
We'd definitely love to have you. If you have something you think you could contribute, then that'd be awesome. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, because it'd be great to have people who are in different kind of disciplines and so on. Because obviously all of us are mostly designers and programmers, so it'd be great to have different kinds of people on the podcast.
For sure, and we definitely do want to have, like I said, like videographers or writers, musicians on the podcast. That's always great to have that variety. Yeah, anyone else got anything regarding like feedback, response, stuff you heard after we published the podcast?
It was pretty crazy seeing everyone respond to our different accents.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
Yes, that was pretty interesting. I got used to it more than I thought it would. Like I thought it would take me more time to get used to Sean's accent, and it did not. Like it's pretty normal now. So.
Yeah, I think people think I sound more Scottish than I actually do, because on one of my really old mics, I think it was when I had like my phone connected to my PC as my microphone, it makes me sound so Scottish. It's like I'm from Glasgow or something.
Okay.
Like I'm straight out of Glasgow, full like accent. Yeah, it was horrible. But hopefully now I sound a bit more like my actual voice. Other than the fact I sound a bit higher pitched, I do swear I actually have a bit of a lower voice in real life.
Yeah. Well, higher pitch is better anyway because you can get more consonants out, so it's easier to understand when you talk in a higher pitch. I'm really bad about talking way too low, and that makes it really hard to understand what I'm saying sometimes.
Yeah.
But of course, right now it's just morning where I am, and my voice is like dead from the concert last night. So.
Oh yeah. If
for me,
if y'all don't know, Micah is the best singer out of all of us.
Oh yeah, what's that YouTube video that's like you auto-tuned? It's like the best thing ever made. I can't remember what it's called now.
Wait, me auto-tune?
Yeah, no, I can't remember off the top of my head. I need to try and find this now. Hold on.
Wait, I don't think I've seen this. Wait, what is this?
I need to find it. Oh, there you are. Right, hold on. Right, do you still have it up on your channel? Please have it still up. Yes, you do. Yes.
Sean, send the link. Send the link, Sean. Send the link. Send.
Oh no!
Send the
link. Send the link.
No, Oh god. So for context, if y'all have it on my YouTube channel, you're following along. It's called The Ballad of Asantewa. It was a terrible song I made in GarageBand.
What are you talking about? It's great. It's amazing. It's not bad whatsoever.
For my AP European History class. Well, the lyrics are just bad. I'm not saying the singing is bad, but the lyrics are bad and the auto-tune is trash.
It's great. I don't know. Everyone should go listen to it right now.
Yeah,
it's absolutely amazing.
Tell you what, y'all. Before Micah ends up taking this down forever, I'll go download it for you, and then host it.
I'm not gonna take it down.
I'm gonna use Vesper to download it.
Yeah, we're gonna use Vesper.
Yeah, plug there for Vesper. Use Vesper.
What if Micah just like blocks out his own videos with Vesper? That's like, oh, this is a video by a blocked creator.
And that's the only.
If you search the Ballad of Asantewa, the first thing that comes up is my song. So that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's good. It's so good.
That's great. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I was wondering what you're talking about because I have another song I've written and I'm still working on the production of it. But I was like, that's not on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, subscribe.
Yeah. Ooh.
It may or may not be on my YouTube channel. I don't know. I'll decide. Doesn't really fit the vibe on my channel, but we'll see. I switched more over to like coding centric videos, but yeah. Okay. Well, cool. That was a little tangent right there.
That was a big derailing of the intro there.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the intro we got. So let's move on to interesting stuff we've been doing. Ethan, why don't you go first? Tell us what you've been working on.
Okay. So as some of you may know, as I've clearly done such a great job at promoting it, I started a new YouTube channel called Vocal Studio, on where it's just I rip songs from YouTube and throw them through a process to strip away the music, and then it's just clear vocals that you can use in remixes. And I assume that I will be doing the same thing with Micah's songs, because don't you all just just want to listen?
Yeah, you need to that song I just shared.
To the Ballad of Asantewa, just Micah's voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
The acapella version.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I've been doing is Canva, like the big graphic design company, right? You guys know?
Oh yeah.
They patched my major exploit that I was using to give people free Canva Pro.
Ooh.
Which that was through like Teams, right?
So I found a new one.
Ethan the Pirate.
So yeah. So like
found a new exploit.
At the end of it, right? So for the past 2 years that I've been giving people Canva Pro, we have used $57,000 worth of services.
Oh my! Wow!
Oh my gosh!
Wow!
Holy
You're bleeding Canva dry here.
And now with this second exploit, because I'm technically an educator, I can give Canva Pro to everybody.
So you're educating people on how to get Canva for free.
So like I gotta make it seem like a class, but other than that, you get free Canva Pro. So if you would like some free Canva Pro, go to the legitimate website, getcanvapro.org.
I'd like to preface this with TNC does not endorse any form of piracy whatsoever.
We do not
endorse piracy.
But if you talk to
me... So basically,
talk to me.
If you're going to sue someone, sue Ethan.
Yes. Yeah. Sue Ethan. You can do that at ekman.dev.
And for the Vocal Studio link, that's just yt.vocalstudio.org.
Not
Very nice.
Next week, when we do have that acapella version of the Ballad of Asantewa out, or not next week, but like in 2 weeks.
It'll be 2 weeks. 3 weeks for us. So for context, guys, we're recording this a week earlier than we should have. We're on a bi-weekly recording schedule, so we're gonna hopefully have an episode for you every 2 weeks. But right now I have a commitment next weekend, so we're recording a weekend in advance. But this should still come out on the regular release schedule. So it'll be 2 weeks from the publication of this podcast. The next episode will be.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Micah? What have you been working on?
I've been working on Hacktoberfest, so it is the month of October. So I've been contributing to some open source repositories, some of my own and some of others. So I did one pull request to a project that I created called CAF Info, a which is a it's a kind of like a portal to get access to information about the cafeteria at my school. You can find that project on GitHub as well. I also got to contribute to Ocular by Jeffalo.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so it's a program. It's a website where you can view scratch.mit.edu's forum posts, and yeah, so I did some minor pull requests there, and then I'm also working on another one for Waste of Mobile, but I'm currently waiting on a bug to be fixed in React Native, the latest version, which is the framework that app is built with. But yeah, so. Not been a ton of time spent on this, just because college is crazy. I got a lot of stuff to do. It's midterms now, so
yeah. What's the glitch in React at the moment? Because I've not heard anything about that.
So well, it's not just in it's in React Native, which is slightly different, but it's essentially in the build step. It's a weird bug. So for context, my computer's my username on my computer is Micah space Lindley, which means that it put my user folder in Windows as Micah space Lindley, and so React Native, this latest version, accidentally broke their handling of paths with spaces in them.
Oh.
And so it keeps trying to execute a command, but that command doesn't exist because it's trying to execute c:/users/Micah space, and that's not a command. It needs to get the whole path. So it should be a minor bug, but I don't have experience with React Native's code base, and the script it's trying to access is written in Gradle, which I don't have any experience with either. So I'm kind of just waiting on them to fix that, and hopefully they'll get that fixed pretty soon, because it is blocking me building on Waste of Mobile. So
my Windows folder is a very creative name for my user. It's just user. So my computer just knows me as
user.
Just user.
Yeah, user/user.
Amazing.
Yeah, just I'm user. I'm not actually Sean. My real name's user. So. Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's because when I got the computer, it just was set up like that. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep it like that.
So, user. Okay, nice. Well, what about you, Sean? What have you been working on?
I was trying to rack my brains, but I remembered something I was working on. So, I think last year or 2 years ago now, I made a project on Oriali and on my Behance called Kid A, which, as you may know, I am somewhat of a stan of the album Kid A by Radiohead, as I've said only a couple times, it is my favourite album of all time.
No.
But the album...
You haven't said that a few times.
I've only mentioned it like... Nah, I've only said it twice or something. Totally. I've never said it like a million times. But
never, Sean.
So, yeah. But, what was I saying? Yeah. So, afterwards, the year after Kid A came out in 2000, a companion album called Amnesiac came out, and it's basically the sister project to Kid A, and it's more rock oriented and it's more experimental. Like listening to Amnesiac is like having some sort of a mental breakdown or something. Like you just like you can't.
That sounds unpleasant.
No, but it's hard to describe, but basically it's very like all over the place. Like 1 minute there'll be a track, for example, like Spinning Plates, which is all reversed. Like even the singing's like the Tom York is singing backwards live, and then they reverse that to make it seem like he's singing forwards, and all the instruments are playing backwards, and it's like anyway. But then the track after that is just a jazz track, full on jazz, completely random, but
that's bizarre.
Yeah, it makes sense when you listen to it. It's seamless in the album, but like describing it sounds like it's the most insane thing ever. Anyway, so I made a project for Kid A, which was a poster for each track on that album. So it's like inspired by the names of the songs, like motion picture soundtrack.
Now that's on.
And so on.
That's on Dribbble, right?
It's on my Behance, not on.
Behance, that's right.
Yeah. So if you want to see it, shameless plug, behance.com/data. Go and check it out.
It's .net actually.
.net.
.net.
What? .net.
Behance.net.
.net.
/data.
You can really tell how much I use Behance. So yeah, so I'm working on a new project, which is the same idea, but it's for Amnesiac. So I'm using like the design of the cover, and then using that as like inspiration for these posters. So hopefully I'll have that out soon, but who knows. But yeah, also I just got a free chance to rant about an album I really like. So yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Okay. Well, let's talk about some interesting stuff that we've seen lately in the news, in the tech world. We looked kind of for some design-oriented news, and couldn't really find much. But we've got a lot of different news from the tech space in general. So we can start with Google Stadia is shutting down, which no one foresaw that coming, right?
No, totally. Google never shuts down a service. That never happens.
No, it's not like
we've definitely not a website called.
Yeah, it's not like we've seen it before with Hangouts or Google Plus
or literally anything.
As you all know.
So I'm gonna start. I'm just not all of these obviously, but I'm gonna read. I'm on the website killedbygoogle.com. It's the Google graveyard.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna read you some of the top apps that were killed by Google. So, of course, we have Google Stadia, which was their cloud gaming service that had the controller, and we'll talk about that in a bit more in a minute. Of course, Hangouts got killed. YouTube Go got killed. I think actually all the Go apps got killed.
I think there's still
apps that were.
I think Files and like Google Go is still a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I think
maybe some of them are still a thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think certain apps, but I think they're just getting renamed to like Files Lite or something. They're not called Go anymore. Something like that. It's like how they renamed Google Pay to Wallet. It's like completely aimless, but you know.
Well, like there's still GPay
well, first
too.
they renamed Google Money to Google Wallet. Yeah, but they renamed Google Pay or Google Money to Google Wallet to Google Pay back to Google Wallet. So
yeah,
that's
makes
not confusing
sense
at all.
Yeah.
They killed YouTube Originals. They killed
YouTube Red.
Yeah, they killed Android. Yep.
Yeah,
they
it's
killed
premium
that.
now.
Well, that's kind of replaced by
Yeah.
premium.
Google Play
They
Music.
killed the classic Google sites. They killed Google Play Music. Yep. They killed Google Poly, which was I actually liked Poly a lot. Poly was cool.
I'm gonna
like a 3D asset browsing tool kind of thing.
I'm actually going to miss quite a bit is Google Hangouts, because I used that back in the day and I thought it was pretty good. So I'm going to be
Hangouts was amazing.
It was.
And the replacement chat is the worst.
So boring.
Not
Chats has to be the most boring name for an app ever. Like what?
Yep.
Like seriously,
Absolutely.
Hangouts is a cool name.
Yeah.
It was a cool app, and they're going to be killing it off next month, and I'm going to be so sad when that happens.
Yep. They also killed Google Cardboard, which was their low-cost VR platform. They killed Tilt Brush, which was a 3D
That was a
painting app.
dope app.
They killed Google Cloud Print. I never got to actually use Tilt Brush, but it looked cool,
Tilt
really,
Brush
really
was
cool.
like really cool. Like it would work with the Oculus. Like they even have an app for your Oculus, and you could just. It was amazing. And it is sad that they
That
discontinued
sounds
it.
really cool.
Yeah, because I saw videos of it at the time, and I thought it was so cool. And then they killed it off, and I was like, well, that's average Google, thanks.
Yep. They also killed Google Daydream, which I own. I bought a Daydream headset.
Yeah,
when
was that?
Daydream came
Yeah,
out.
because that came out
and-
after like the Google Cardboard got killed, didn't it? It was like the new.
And it was kind of based on. It was like it's supposed to be like cardboard, but like more premium. And like
Yeah.
it's like a solid headset. Like it's a great headset and a great controller.
Yeah.
And now it's dead because they didn't release any firmware for anything.
Does Google even offer anything VR anymore? I don't know.
No.
not.
So
So
they-
yeah, they killed
so-
all their.
So I guess they just don't like VR then.
Yeah, apparently not.
yeah.
They obviously killed Google Plus.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
They
think
also
everyone was
killed-
happy to see that go.
Everyone was happy to see that go. That's fair. They killed Inbox by Gmail, which I
I'm so
actually kind
sad.
of liked.
I'm still salty about that.
Like
There now, I read the other day there's actually an alternative to that. I don't
Really?
want to go too far off the rails, but there's like some of the people from the Inbox team like quit Google and like started their own company. Let me see if I can find
What
it
is
real
this
quick.
called? Yeah.
They started their own company. Okay, it's called Shortwave Email.
Shortwave.
Oh.
Shortwave.com.
There
Yeah.
we go then. I mean, I don't mind Gmail now. I think Gmail's pretty decent, but Inbox was just...
Superior.
It was such a refresh.
Yes, it was such a unique view of email. Like it was much more of like almost like chat based rather than
Yeah.
like it didn't feel much like letters that you had to send. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And especially at
So
the time...
yeah, shortwave.com is where you can find
Yeah.
that.
Because especially at the time for Gmail at the time, it was so bloated. Especially, actually, even now, Gmail to an extent is so bloated because you have Meet, you have chats, you have notes, you have tasks, all bundled into this one app. You've got contacts. It's like it's too much. It's like you're an email client. I don't need to like do anything
Yeah.
else on it. I just don't get why Google.
That's a really
was-
good point.
Yeah.
It's just I don't get it.
Yeah, there's lots more, and if y'all want to see more of what was created on, or what was killed by Google, you can go to killedbygoogle.com, and it's a pretty interesting site where you can see how old these services are and what they were, and there are links to stories about why they were killed. But let's talk a little bit more about Stadia because that's the most recent.
Mhm.
So did either of y'all like ever get a chance to like try out Google Stadia or
So
use it?
I actually have my controller sitting on my desk right now, just talking about this. Google actually sent it to me
That's right, okay.
for free because I was a YouTube Premium member. So they sent me a controller and a Google Chromecast Ultra. And never mind.
Ooh.
And
Connect your Chromecast or TV with Chromecast built-in. Open the Google Home app.
Can you even use a controller like as a standalone, or do
Hey,
you have to
Google.
have Stadia for it to even work?
be quiet.
I've
He
got
summoned the assistant.
yeah,
So-
I've got
sorry,
Google
what?
Home in my one as well. Sorry, so I've got distracted now. Google's distracting me. Yeah, so the controller,
Yeah.
can you actually use it like independent, like connect it into a PC and just use it as an ordinary controller, or does it have to be with Stadia?
So it's super weird, right? So you can, so how it works is it actually connects to Wi-Fi. So you
Oh.
turn on the controller, and then it connects to your home Wi-Fi and
Okay.
to Google Cloud servers, and then beams the stream to your Chromecast. While your controller is just connected to the internet. So that's how your movement works. and
That's a
everything.
lot of
Yeah.
That's a lot of
So,
tech, yeah. Because most other
that-
controllers, like the Xbox One, are just like Bluetooth.
Yeah, and I mean it has a Bluetooth mode kind of, so you can connect it with your phone, but it doesn't support any input for Bluetooth, which is the really sucky part, right? Because I loved this controller. It was actually like nice to game on the go with, and I'm kind of gonna miss it honestly, because it was just such a nice little platform. I mean, there's always gonna be stuff
Yeah.
like to replace it. Like I've got, I have a Razer Kishi that works just to fit around your phone to make it like a Switch. But for big screen gaming, if you don't have an Xbox, I mean, I do, but if you don't have an Xbox and you had Stadia, it's gonna suck for a lot of people.
Yeah, I have.
there's-
When I got my Xbox Series, sorry.
Yeah, no, and then there's a community online actually that is refusing to let the Stadia controller die with Stadia. So they're trying
Yeah.
to break it with and like I don't want to say jailbreak it, but they're trying to put new firmware on it to make it usable with other games on PC and make it a usable Bluetooth controller.
Yeah, because the Xbox controller, from my experience, it's so good because it's so versatile. You can just plug it into like any computer or that, and it just works as a controller without needing to be with an Xbox.
Yeah.
And since you're talking about Xbox there, before I interrupted you, was when I got my Series X earlier on this year.
Yeah.
I got a free trial of Game Pass, and with Game Pass you get also Xbox Cloud gaming as well.
Yeah,
you can
that's really
play
nice.
games through it, and it is so good. I played a bit of Doom and other games through it, and it was almost like I was actually playing it on the actual SSD itself. It was really good. So I feel like the issue is for Stadia it was by Google, who isn't a gaming company. Like Google's never done anything gaming until this. So like, I just feel like it's a lot to do with also the fact that they had no idea how to actually appeal to the gaming community.
Yeah.
Whereas at least Microsoft, they've been doing it for God knows how long.
Well, and if we want to go even further back, right? I actually was part of the beta test for GeForce Now, if you've heard of it. I was part of the beta when it was in beta for like 2 years. Like I was accepted right there in that probationary period.
Mm-hmm.
And for those 2 years, I could game anywhere, and people were jealous. You know, it was like, holy crap! And it was so nice. And so, I mean,
yeah, because I feel like cloud gaming is in general is like the next logical step, because it just means that people who don't have like the storage space for games can still play games as long as they have a decent internet connection.
Yeah. I mean, like, and that's something that I noticed too. Is like when I was first starting out, it used so much data. Like, if you wanted a quality stream with like actually good graphics, like the PC would be running good graphics. It's just like the output, you know, to your coming back to you, like the stream. It would be like 20 gigs an hour.
Wow.
Okay, and then you take a look at how it's improved down to where we can get pretty good stuff for around 4 gigs an hour, or even like 2.
Yeah, because like video streaming, because like video streaming now is like so efficient because of like things like YouTube and Netflix, who have had to shave off as much data as they can while still having like the video quality be excellent. So I feel like it'll be the same thing for like cloud gaming. The more people use it and the more popular it becomes, the more efficient and you know good it will be.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm quite excited to see where it goes from here, even if Stadia is, dying off.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting.
And from like a different perspective, too, like I think one of the reasons Stadia probably failed is because of like just like budget nightmares. Because like Stadia had, I don't know if y'all know this, but Stadia had its own like game development studio. Like there was a Stadia game development studio that was like games especially designed for Stadia, and I think that was a really, really bad play by Google personally.
Yeah.
I think it would have been much more effective to just have those games, and I think they probably lost a lot of money trying to build games that only ran on Stadia. I think that's also created a massive job nightmare, because I mean you have this entire, like basically an entire company working on games for Stadia, and now they are all unemployed because Stadia's dying.
Yeah, that's a shame. Even if you look at the other two giants in the gaming industry, like Sony and Microsoft, it's only just now they're starting their own studios. Like Microsoft Studios or Xbox Studios now is only starting to make their own games only more recently. And if you look how much money Microsoft and Sony are individually dropping on buying existing studios like Bungie and Activision Blizzard, it's ridiculous how much money you need to actually get a platform off the ground in the gaming space. So for Google to do it when they're not already positioned in a place to really appeal to gamers is, I feel like, a really bad move, and I feel that's a lot of the reason why Stadia died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to another topic. I think we're still on Google here. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, again, we talked a little bit about this last episode, but Pixel 7 series. It's been launched now. It was launched. Let's see here. So it'll be last week when this episode comes out. Last week, this was released. So the event was kind of like meh, like the release event. I don't know if y'all watched any part of that. I know Sean said he watched a small bit of it on the MKBHD video.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a summary of it, really.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it was kind of boring, honestly. Like it wasn't great. Like nobody seems like super excited about it. But But later that night, there was a Pixel Superfans event, which I'm a Pixel Superfan. I've owned a Pixel since the original Pixel, and it was a oh no, Ethan just posted the Ballad of Santawa.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, I will have to check that out later. But yeah, so there was a Superfans event, which is if y'all don't know what Superfans is, it's kind of like an exclusive club for like Pixel owners. So it was a lot better. It was like a lot more personal. It was essentially the host. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Tech Me Out, but they're I think relatively new or like mid-sized like tech creator on YouTube. Let's see here.
I've not heard of them personally, but
okay. See, 385 subscribers. So not like super big, not like LTT big, but you're talking like pretty decent sized tech creator. And so she was the host of the Superfans event, and it was pretty good. I'm not sure entirely how much I can share because we were told that all the information shared during the event was confidential. But I can say it was much better. It gave a really good look at both the products, or at all the products that were released, except the Pixel Tablet. It didn't cover Pixel Tablet, but I'm not surprised because that doesn't release until like 2023. But then at the end there was.
Sorry, that was all confidential stuff, Micah?
No, not like everything I just told you. I'm not telling you any of the details because I can't speak about the details. But
yeah.
But then there was also a chance if you filled out the trivia at the end, then you got a chance to get a free Pixel 7, Pixel 7 Pro, or Pixel Watch, or Pixel Buds Pro. So I filled that out, and hopefully I'll know by like October 13th if I get a free Pixel, which would be super cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
I've got, at least from the first look at the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro, I prefer the look of the 7 to the 7 Pro. I feel like the glossy camera bit it looks a bit, I don't know, odd. I feel like the matte look is a bit cleaner.
I agree with you on that, yeah. From a technical standpoint, though, we got some really interesting information and demos about this. So, first of all, we have AI photo unblur. Sean, why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I think you said you were really interested about that.
Yeah, because I saw it on the MKBHD video. Basically, it's a feature that the 7 and the 7 Pro have at the moment, but it might get extended to older Pixels, I think, like the 6 and the 6 Pro. It basically allows you to unblur any photo you take. So if you're like, quickly taking a photo and it comes out blurry, AI and I think other machine learning will try and make it look sharper and look not blurred. And at least from the samples that they showed in the press release, I think like for like reviewers and such, like MKBHD, the photos went from like considerably blurry back to like almost perfectly shot, like they're on a tripod kind of thing. So it obviously depends, because obviously they're sample images that Google have chosen specifically to show you to give like the best look at the AI and the tech itself. So it will be interesting to see what happens once Google actually releases it out into the wild and people get to test it out for real on any photo, because Google is claiming that you can also do this with any photo in your Google Photos library. So it'll be really interesting to see people remaster like years old photos and improve them if it does work as advertised.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it does, because if so, that would be a really cool feature.
Yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, it's a really cool feature, and I have no doubt that they'll be able to do that because all their AI photography is just insane. It's just really good. Really well done.
Yeah, I think the Pixel 6, because it had that feature where you can remove people from a photo or like background elements by like just like selecting it. Is that any good? Because I've not actually looked into it much, but
I haven't had the chance to do that because I'm still on the Pixel 4a 5G. But I've heard it's really good.
Yeah. So I was saying Google has a good track record with AI photography. So if this is just as good as Magic Eraser and just general photos, I think this could be a really killer feature.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I also saw this morning. I saw the first like like a video sample that was not from Google directly. So it was like a more like an unbiased sample, and like it's insanely good. Like Pixels have had good cameras like for photography for a long time because
Yeah.
it's all in the software, it's all in the AI computational photography. But like if y'all get the chance, like go find some Pixel 4 or Pixel 7 Pro video tests. It's insane. Like the video quality on Pixels has never been like great. It's always been kind of like stuttery or bad contrast or whatever. But like the Pixel 7 Pro's video is like really good. Like it's insanely good, and it looks like they've caught up to iPhone after like
Really?
years.
Yeah.
So if y'all get a chance, definitely go take a look at that because I think it's really interesting how good it's gotten. And I don't know what they did to achieve that, but like it's really, really good.
Yeah, like I say, I hope it turns out to be a good competitor finally to the iPhone, because obviously in the Android space there's not a true like competitor or like comparable phone to the iPhone. So it'd be really good if the Pixel could finally, like you say, catch up and be like the real competitor to the iPhone for Android.
For sure. Yeah. Well, next up we've got Elon Musk and Twitter, which apparently is still a thing. I thought we'd seen the last of that when Elon said he wasn't going to buy it and Twitter decided to take it to court. But apparently something shifted and it looks like the deal may go through after all, which is kind of bizarre.
Yeah, well, I don't really get it, to be honest, because it seems like Twitter just forced him to do it, and then even if it is just for him to get a lower price, it's like he doesn't actually seem interested in Twitter, like actually making Twitter better. It's just more like almost like I use it a lot, so I'm gonna buy it now, so I can do what I want with it, kind of thing. Maybe that's just me though.
Yeah, which is, I mean, he's like the classic. He's just like the classic billionaire who just does absolutely whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But I
Like-
think it is interesting that the original reason he said he wasn't going to buy it was because of the amount of bots in the platform in relationship to users, like the bot to user ratio. He said that was too high. But now it seems like he's buying it anyway. I don't really understand. But
I always found
I do think it's
that
interesting.
strange as an excuse, because at least in my experience, I have never came across a bot on Twitter, like an actual like malicious bot, like a scam bot kind of thing. Whereas on YouTube comments, I've seen them everywhere. So who knows? Maybe I'm just because I avoid Twitter like the plague, so maybe that's what it has to do with. But who knows? Maybe it's just because I'm not addicted to Twitter. I'm not like some avid Twitter user.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter either. I mean,
Yeah.
it's such a toxic platform that, like, why?
Yeah, it's an amalgamation of every dumb take and idea condensed into one platform. I feel like every time I open Twitter,
That's just like,
yeah,
go ahead.
because every time I open Twitter, I feel like I find the new worst opinion I've ever read in my life. It's almost impressive
true.
how it does it. I think the algorithm must be designed just to find me the worst opinion I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It's like just like Reddit.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
Reddit's
No,
like-
Yeah.
Reddit's funny.
Reddit's kind of like
Depends on the subreddit.
yeah, Reddit's kind of funny, and Reddit's kind of like that emoji like meme, like the meme with like the emoji with the glasses, like the nerd emoji, and it's like well actually it's like that's what I feel like Reddit is.
Yeah.
It's just people who think they're smarter when they're not actually. They're just incredibly stupid.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's pretty funny. Well, anyway, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how that goes through after so much controversy over that.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, well, Sean brought up an interesting topic that's more in the design space. That is oversimplified.
Yeah.
Oversimplified logos.
yeah.
So, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I saw this article yesterday when we were looking for stuff for the podcast, and it was an article about how Citroen, the car manufacturer, is changing their logo, and it's based on an older design from like ages ago. I can't remember the exact date. I think we've got, yeah. So they're going back to a design from 1919, which is a very long time ago, and they've updated it for 2022. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Citroen's logos overall, and I think the new one's just a bit meh anyway, but it got me onto this thing about how a lot of new car, like all these car companies and also just brands in general, are oversimplifying their logos or flattening them. Because, for example, a lot of car manufacturers used to have these really glossy, shiny 3D logos, but now, like, for example, Mercedes, Hyundai, and so on are all flattening them down and so on. So, and it's also something that's just becoming more prevalent in design in general. Like, for example, you guys probably all know it, it's the Pringles rebrand.
Oh, that one sucks.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that goes so much flack.
Yeah, so they basically removed the Pringle man essentially at this point. I think they just murdered him. I think it's just like the carcass of the guy at this point. It's just so lifeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So obviously that became a meme, and then it went so far as to say Firefox removed the fox from the Firefox logo when that wasn't the case. Basically, Mozilla rebranded the Firefox logo as they now do multiple Firefox products. There's the browser, there's a password manager, etc. And
there's a VPN, I believe, too.
Yes,
right?
there's a VPN now, yeah. So Firefox, the Firefox browser, like if you download Firefox, the browser right now, the icon you'll see is, of course, the classic fox around a globe kind of like design. But if you're actually looking at the Firefox Twitter account, for example, it's just the swish, because that's the overarching logo. It's like how, you know, the Google logo doesn't equal Google Chrome, the Chrome logo doesn't equal Google.
Yeah.
Similar idea. But it was just quite funny how, like, the meme went from, like, just making fun of actual oversimplified logos to just, like, full on, like, any logo that's simple, even if it makes sense, is bad kind of thing.
Well, and like
for sure, and like there is definitely.
Well, like what I had noticed, right, is like, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I thought this whole, I mean, the backlash for the Firefox one was kind of stupid, because they still like remade icons for all their other stuff, and they're still got tons of gradients.
Yeah.
You know, the
Firefox logos are actually some of my favorite at the moment.
Yeah. If you take a look at this link I'm going to send y'all, that's the company who actually helped make all the Firefox stuff. They put a lot of work into that. But, like, it's and they still made a fox. like
Exactly. The actual logo itself for the browser is the same. It's just it's the classic fox around a globe kind of idea.
Yeah.
And it's still it's like a really detailed logo, but yet also works at small sizes. It's actually a really clever logo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
Especially compared to, like, for example, Google's been getting on my nerves with, like, Google Workspace. All the icons are just so simple. Like, for God's sake, the Photos logo is just 4 circles, like half circles. That's it. In the Google colors, it's so
Google
simple.
Google Photos ripped off the Ariali logo.
I know. I'm suing. You're gonna be hearing from our lawyer team, Google. And the lawyer team is me.
You can't say that, because you ripped off SanDisk.
Oh, damn. SanDisk, I apologize. No copyright infringement intended. Please don't sue.
Because
And TNC, doesn't indulge that.
if I pull up this Sansa logo and I show you what you ripped off, you'll be like, "Holy crap!"
Wait, send this in the podcast channel, because I'm interested to see this as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I honestly, I swear, I made the Oriali logo completely just by, like, chance, because I had, like, a logo made for, like, some smart home app I was making, and then I thought, what if I put those 4 semicircles together, and that could be my meme account logo, and then I just kept it, and now everyone keeps bringing up the fact that they see it everywhere, because it's a really simple shape and design.
Yep.
Yeah. So SanDisk.
Nah, that's not the same. That's not the same. What are you talking about?
That's pretty similar.
Shut up, Micah. No, it's not.
That's pretty
It's
funny,
mine's very original.
Okay. So SanDisk, the company behind like WD and all those awesome storage platforms made this years before you made yours.
No, what actually happened is I went back in time and made that logo, and then they stole it off me. So
Oh yeah,
I can still sue them.
okay.
There you go, yeah.
Classic time
Yeah,
traveler.
but it's
Yeah,
like,
you know Aureali. She's a time traveler, so.
but it's like whenever I see that, I'm like, dude, you ripped off SanDisk. You just made, you literally just put.
I wish I could say I did.
You literally just put a square in the middle and rounded the circles. That's it.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's even like my personal, my personal like branding, like the S thing that's made out of like semicircles as well, not semicircles but like half circles.
Yeah.
I did that completely by myself. I didn't see that anywhere else, and then like 2 days after I shared that branding, someone came back to me with this Dribble post that was like basically the same logo, but it had like a square in the center of it or something. I was like, damn, I can't make anything original at this point. No. But yeah. But to get back on topic, the oversimplified logo thing, I totally get it. I feel like for a lot of brands, they've been really cutting away a lot of what makes their logos like full of personality, especially like Google and Pringles. But then sometimes I've seen, like, for example, the Firefox ones, it's like people just don't like any change whatsoever.
Sure. And like, why I don't understand. I don't understand the whole I don't understand the whole thing with Firefox, because like their logos are still like very unique, and it's very clear that the switch you're talking about is an overarching logo. It's not, because it's not the one that you see in the taskbar when you have Firefox, but it is the one you see when you're going to the website that's a portal to Lockwise and VPN and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really understand the rejection of that.
I think it was
But
from
I do understand, especially Pringles.
Well, since we're talking about Twitter and how brain dead Twitter is, it was actually caused by a tweet that someone made saying they've killed the fox, and it showed like a timeline of all the logos. So it showed like the old logo, and then it went from like those like up until now, and then they showed that first, like, no, the current logo of the browser. They showed that one, and then after that they showed the overarching brand logo. So it made people think that they went from the browser logo to the overarching one.
Yeah.
As the browser logo, when it's not the case. So it was a bit of a, Twitter being Twitter and just not actually thinking for half a second or just looking it up kind of thing.
Yep, that's absolutely true.
So there you go.
True.
That's first-hand account of how dumb Twitter is.
It's always a fine line in between. I think it's always a fine line in between too simple and not simple enough. Like, it has to be simple enough to where you can scale it down to like a favicon in the browser, which is like 32 pixels by 32 pixels.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, some stuff is getting too simplified. Like the Pringles logo, like you said, it's all about personality. Like the Pringles logo, especially being like an image of a person's head, like it's not a great logo when you simplify it that much. It doesn't need to be tiny, because nobody visits the Pringles website anyway.
I don't even get why they simplified it, because it's such a, even at a small size, it's still distinguishable. I didn't get why they had to flatten it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But I just saw what you sent in the chat, Ethan. What is this actually legit? Is that the new Audacity logo?
No.
It's concept.
No, that's a concept. Which.
So every.
Well, yeah. Again, I don't like it. I like the current Audacity logo, to be honest.
Okay, see, I don't like the current Audacity logo because it looks like it's from the 90s.
But that's what I like about it. It can, because Audacity is an old program, so I feel like it kind of keeps its heritage.
Well,
that's fair. I'd like to see it simplified a little bit.
Yeah, maybe get rid of some of the gradients, but
definitely not. Well, I don't think the gradients would be bad. I think like it'd be cool to have gradients, because that, again, like you said, it keeps some legacy stuff. But I think the main problem with this one is the squared off shapes are way too boring, and the font is way too boring.
Yeah.
But
I think isn't that just like, what's that? Isn't that just Montserrat? I think it looks like Montserrat to me.
If there's one thing that Audacity should change,
it's
their UI, because it still looks like it's from the 90s.
The UI is annoying. The UI is
Awful.
just bad.
I don't mind it.
But
I must be weird because I don't mind
It's better if you put it. It's better if you put it in dark mode.
Yeah, anything's
not-
better in
it's
dark
not the
mode.
worst.
That's not. Everything's better in dark mode anyway.
That's very true.
But
But ever since Audacity was acquired by Muse, the Muse group, then there's been like a bunch of submissions for new logo, new branding, new UI, whatever.
yeah,
Um,
it was like the VLC logo. I couldn't imagine the VLC logo looking any different because it's just.
they
it's-
did change the VLC.
They
logo,
they
didn't
they sort
No,
of
They can't sort of.
So they made it more flat,
Half and half.
but they also added like a little bit of shadow. So it's no longer like this
Yeah.
bad 3D cone. It's like a flat 3D cone, which
Yeah.
looks decent. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think that's a better design. Like if I was to rebrand Audacity, I would just maybe change some of the gradients, maybe make them a bit less harsh, and maybe just make the kind of like the frequencies in between the headphones a bit simpler. But
Well,
other
I
than
guess,
that, I
like-
wouldn't go any more crazy than
like
that.
just like redo
Sure.
the
It definitely
headphones
needs to be
and then do
tied
like
to the
a
heritage.
yellow circle on the back, like not whatever's there currently, but just like a yellow circle, and then a little bit more simpler, like just red, whatever you want to call those waves, like a different waveform.
Yeah.
And then like then it'd be more
Yeah.
modern.
The whole thing with
but, yeah.
the whole thing with rebranding is that it's like, again, it's a fine line. Like you have to retain the brand's original identity, especially for something as historic as like VLC or Audacity. Like those have been around for years and years. So you definitely want to keep the user base. Therefore, you want to keep like the basic concept of the branding. You don't want to refresh the thing the same, like the same thing with Firefox. Like it's very different, but it's still recognizable as the same Firefox logo from like the early thousands. So
Yeah.
you have to keep that. You have to keep your user base by maintaining the look and feel of the logo,
Yeah.
but you can change the style a little bit. So.
Because I don't know about you guys, but if I was to rebrand like Data now, I don't know how I would do it because everyone knows me for the current segment logo. Like I just couldn't imagine myself with a different logo now.
That's the
Sure. Yeah. No, I can't imagine
yeah.
rebranding
That's
Archon.
that's my
so-
problem too, because like I don't know how to rebrand, because people know me by the E, but they also know me by like that background, like signature background colors. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because like for me, everyone knows the segments. So like if I was to change it to something else, I just feel like I would lose all the history. Because that's the thing. The logo for me, at least, is so old. Because I originally made the segment design like idea all the way back in like 2016, and I've done iterations of it up until now. So it's like I don't know how I could just erase all that history. It would have to be something that still incorporates segments in some way.
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, I'm not
biggest-
planning on rebranding anyway. But
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Well, it is time to move on to the music segment. Let's move on to the music segment. So, Sean, why don't you start on this one?
sure. So, I'm also a big stan. You may not know of Tame Impala, the Australian psychedelic rock / pop group or person, because it's technically one person anyway. Their album Lonerism from 2012 just turned 10 years old, and I just want to talk about it real quick. So Lonerism is the second album by Tame Impala. It came out 2 years after their debut, Inner Speaker, which Inner Speaker for context, is basically like 60s psychedelic rock if it was made, this century. Basically, it's modernized 60s psychedelic rock, and it is a good album. But the biggest fault I feel for it is that it's only really works as an album. There's no real single power to that record at all. Like listening
okay.
to the tracks by themselves individually, it just doesn't have the same impact as it does as a whole album, which isn't a bad thing, but like it just sometimes holds the album back from like becoming a sensation or whatever, because especially now in streaming, most people listen to singles more than they do albums. So but Lonerism was kind of like the next logical step for Tame Impala, because basically it went from combined like the psychedelic rock elements of Inner Speaker with more pop sensibilities. There's a lot more choruses, catchy hooks, really bombastic drumming. Like something Tame Impala is really well known for is how heavy and loud and just crazy their drumming is. There's tracks like Apocalypse Dreams, which like if you hit the 3-minute mark on that track, it's hard to explain. It's like it's really intense anyway, and a lot of tracks do that. They have this kind of building intensity and they just kind of go crazy basically. And it also is something that opened Tame Impala up to being more pop centric, because prior there was this kind of like, I guess, snobbishness in rock where you couldn't be poppy, that you couldn't make pop music, you had to make rock music. But then Lonerism comes out, and then 3 years after it, Currents releases, which is their third album, and it's a full-on like psychedelic 80s pop throwback, and it's like their most popular album. So I feel like Lonerism, even looking back at it 10 years now, it's still really like modern, it's really fresh, it's really interesting, and I've not heard anything really like it since. So if what I've described is any bit interesting to you, then give it a listen.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm going to talk a little bit about Half Alive. Half Alive is more of like I guess I'd describe it as probably pop, right?
Yeah,
Is it
I would
pop
kind of
rock?
say they're a bit like 21 Pilots. I feel like a lot of people compare them
Yeah.
to 21 Pilots.
They're definitely inspired, I would say, by kind of 21 Pilots vibe. Their last album, I believe, was it Now Not Yet? I think. Let's see
I
here.
think they had. It's really weird.
No, there was.
Yeah, 'cause I
there's
think they have
what's,
Now Not Yet.
Give Me Your Shoulders. Give Me Your Shoulders, Part 1.
Oh,
That
right.
was the last album. There's some really good songs in there. Summerland is great. What's Wrong is great. Make of It's good. Their previous album is good as well. But they're kind of like Sean said, it's more kind of like 21 Pilots inspired. But they've got a very unique sound. And I find them a lot more positive than 21 Pilots. But they're a ton of fun. If you like, you can give them a listen. I believe they have a new single that's coming out probably by the time this episode's released. I think it's the 13th. It's a new single comes
Ooh.
out. So yeah, take a look at that if you're
Yeah.
interested in alt rock pop kind of feel.
Yeah, because I feel like actually the best way, if I was to add on to that, maybe as a good descriptor would be is if Scaled and Icy by 21 Pilots was like a band, I feel. Because Scaled and
Yes.
Icy has
Yeah,
that
exactly.
positivity kind of vibe, and I feel like Half Alive is like a very similar idea.
Yes, for sure. It's a lot less like emo than 21 Pilots is, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Ethan, what about you?
So I think I touched on this last week, but like as I've been door dashing, right? I listen to a lot of new music.
Oh,
yeah.
you DoorDash?
So I DoorDash,
That's
and
fun.
Wait, what's DoorDash?
Oh, do y'all not?
Do you
have,
not-
okay,
do you not have DoorDash?
Yeah,
Okay,
remember.
Okay, so it's, like,
Wait,
essentially,
context. Wait, hold on. Context. I live in Scotland in the UK, so anything American, I don't know. Well, I know some American stuff. I know Walmart. I know Target. I know Best Buy. I know a lot of that stuff, but I've never heard of DoorDash.
okay, so
We
Wait, do
have.
y'all not have Walmart over there?
So we have Uber Eats. We have Just Eat, and what's the other ones? Deliveroo. I don't know if you guys have
do,
Deliveroo.
Okay,
do you
so-
not
so
do you
we do
not
not.
have
So DoorDash-
Do you not have Walmart over there?
We have Asda, which used to be owned by Walmart. So that if you look up Asda, the logo, it used to have, how the Walmart logo is like that sun kind of design?
Yeah, the Spark.
The A
Yes.
on the Asda logo used to have those on it. It sounds like kind of as a little nod towards it. But now it was bought
Okay.
by like a British company. So technically it's back to being British.
Oh.
So, but yeah, Asda.
Okay.
So Asda's kind of like our equivalent, I guess, because there's others. Well, I guess I'll just go through the stores now since I'm going through them. So there's Asda, Tesco, Morrison's, Sainsbury's, and then you've got Aldi and Lidl as well, which are kind of this big six kind
Wow,
of
okay.
stores.
So we have none of those in here. in the
Yeah, we've
US.
got
That's
Walmart, we've
interesting.
got Target, we've got
Well, anyway, yeah, DoorDash is.
so DoorDash. is it's essentially Uber Eats. It's the same
Right.
food delivery, but it's more popular in
Right.
the U.S.
Yeah, it's kind of like Uber Eats kind of.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
as
so
you were saying.
as I'm door dashing, right, I'll throw on random songs to and it just starts the radio. And so one of the songs that came on, which I found I really liked, was by it's Martin Garrix. He's a really well-known EDM artist, and Clinton Kane, who has blown up recently for his song "I Guess I'm in Love." When I say recently, I mean like the past 2 years. But it the song's called "Drown," and it's really great because it's a mix of the Clinton Kane that is awesome and phenomenal singer with Martin Garrix, who's a great EDM artist.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool. What would you describe like the style as?
EDM. Like yeah,
EDM. Okay.
Just
I'm not
EDM.
familiar with EDM.
it's like more dance, I
Okay,
guess.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying EDM, not idiom.
Yeah.
I was thinking like the grammatical form.
Well,
Yeah, no,
idiom.
Well,
EDM.
if you're saying it, well, idiom's also a style because that's independent dance music. So there you go. You can also be yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, but
You tell how sad I am. I knew
Okay.
that.
I was thinking. Okay, I was legitimately thinking like an idiom.
it's like
which is
Micah.
like a
Yeah.
phrase.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. Okay, I'll have to give both of those a try. I have
Yeah.
listened to like a small bit of Tame Impala, but it's been a while, and I don't think I've listened to
And-
Tame
either,
Impala,
Martin
well,
Garrix or Clinton
As the
Kane.
official Tame Impala spokesperson of the podcast, you should definitely give them a listen. It
I will
depends on
definitely.
like what kind of stuff you prefer. Like if you prefer rock music, I would say Inner Speaker and Lonerism's a good start. But if you prefer like pop music, I would definitely say Currents and The Slow Rush are your good starting point.
Okay, and then Sean, because you like rock, right?
Yeah. Of
Okay,
course.
I want you to go and listen to "After All" by Beartooth.
Okay, I'll do that. Nice. Will do.
Well, we have reached the 1 hour 2 minute mark on the
Woo.
podcast. So let's go ahead and reintroduce ourselves, say our names, and we will get out of here. So I'm Micah, graphic designer, web developer, and musician.
I'm Sean.
And I am Ethan, the UI designer, your friendly host, DoorDasher, your favorite security employee of Vivint, and we are the new creators.
Yes.
Yes. Join the Discord if you haven't already. You can join that at discord.michaellinley.com. A lot of cool stuff happens there.
Yeah. Join my Discord
the
too.
next episode, join Taz Discord, Taz Hangout.
Taz, hang
The
on.
Taz.
The next episode, we may have a guest. If everything works out right, then we will have a guest next episode. And just
Ooh.
looking at the calendar, that will probably come out on October 29th. Maybe we can do a Halloween-themed episode.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fun.
That'd be kind of fun.
Then we can, and then we
yeah,
can be
so-
like, did Micah get his Hacktoberfest merch?
Well, that will not happen. The Hacktoberfest merch, like last time, it literally took till like January. to
Really?
ship in.
Oh, wow.
So, like, because the shipping is like they have to like actually make all the merch and then they have to ship it. So, you never get it until like much farther down the line.
Oh, I guess.
So, it'll be quite a while before
I
I
guess
get
we'll
that.
be like, did Micah
Hacktober, get Prime, God's sake.
Yes, Hacktoberfest needs to get some Amazon Prime. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for listening. This has been a great time, and we will see you in the next episode.
See ya.
Goodbye, my peoples.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop recording now.